I've got my shirt. I've got my earrings. I've got my ears. It's Friday the 13th. It's thunderstorming. Love it! Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. Today I am talking about the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Treatment Makeup. This is the foundation version of the concealers, which are super popular. I've loved these for a long time. I have the brightener light and a fair. Fair is more pink toned, light is more yellow toned, so I use them both because I'm fairly neutral. I got the shade 130 Buff Beige, and I think that it works fine for me. Similar to the concealer, this foundation just melts into the skin. It's very light coverage, lightweight. You can hardly even feel that you're wearing it. It doesn't necessarily last like a super long time, like maybe 6 hours or so, but you can reapply it really easily. Same with the concealer. You can pile it, on top of itself and whatever, and it just melts right in. It doesn't get all gross. It makes the skin look good. It's kind of like a Your Skin But Better, if you will. No copyright infringement intended. It has a very natural look, and I think it's perfect for every day. I like being able to just throw it on, blend it in, good to go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Olivia, do you want to be on camera? You like it when I take pictures of you. Do you want to be in video? Oh, she doesn't like it when I hold her like this. She doesn't like being confined. Oh, I know. Ugh. You want to go chew on Q-tips and things. What was I saying? I mean, when you're dressed like a cat and you get distracted by a cat, let's just face it, my whole life is cats. What was that? You chirping at the birdies? Okay. I filmed a first impressions and initial wear last weekend. I wore it throughout the week, so I've been testing it out, going to work and stuff, and then I put it on again today. So far I really like it. It's a very easy everyday work makeup for when your skin is looking good. It's definitely light coverage, so if you need more coverage, you're gonna have to build up a lot of spot concealing, but I think it's nice just to even out the skin tone and just look healthy and natural. And here starts the thunderstorm, and it's getting really dark. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to stop talking now. The original concealer here is one of my absolute favorites. And I feel like that's saying a lot because I love concealer. I just keep buying them even when I have a million. Sorry. I recently finished up my fair. I went to go buy a new one. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go super crazy here. And I'm going to try the foundation. I've always wanted to try it because if it's a big bottle of the concealer, I mean, it's going to be amazing. So I struggled with finding the right shade because they don't have like testers. I think I'm starting to lean a little bit more yellow these days just because I've been working so much out in the sun, and I've really sort of, you can't tell, but I have like a tan, like a pale person's tan, a watch line right here. Anyway, so instead of getting the furthest one over, I got, does it even have the shade on here? Oh my God. I got 130 Buff Beige instead of the 120 Light Ivory, just because I held it up next to the concealers and it just seemed like the one. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find out here in a minute. I'm opening it. Let's start turning. I wonder how long this is going to take. Oh, something's happening. It's coming out. Okay, here we go. things that I love most about the concealer is that it just melts into the skin. Like, it doesn't even hardly matter what shade. I mean, as far as on the pale range anyway, because it just absolutely melts into the skin. Might be too dark. I think I like it. Very lightweight. I can hardly feel anything. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy, it's not greasy. It's, you know, light coverage, which for me is fine on the regular. I've really been trying to wear less foundation lately anyway, so, you know, I don't want it settling into my fine lines, so if it isn't too thick or too heavy, then hopefully it won't do that. I thought I was gonna hate the spongy. I mean, it gets really gross, but I like that you can just apply it and you don't have to get it on your fingers or your hands. I mean, you could almost throw this, you know, in your purse bag. I'm trying to kind of use up what's in the sponge so that it's not sitting in the sponge. I mean, I was hoping that I would love it as much as the concealer, but I never hear anybody talk about it. I mean, I never hear anything about it, so I just assumed it was terrible. I just is expecting it to be terrible. Let's continue and see what happens. I'm going to use my City Color HD powder to do a little setting around the face. I can never tell if foundations are the right shade in this lighting right here, because this lighting is, it's not that it's inaccurate. I mean, it's good lighting. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. The car mirror is always the test of like what matches. Okay, it is now 7 or 8 hours later. I haven't left the house. I've just been at home doing other things. I think that it reminds me of when I just use the Age Rewind concealer all over my face. So I think it's really similar formula. It does have sunscreen in it that the concealer does not. I think I like it. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep using it. I just used a very small amount, so I think that helped with the not getting as much creasing up in my forehead. Basically, any foundation that I wear, you know, I end up with the creasing, and there's just a little bit. It has, you know, rubbed off like on my nose where I've blown my nose, and, you know, a little bit around here because I've eaten. You know, it wasn't a lot of coverage to begin with. Considering where I started, I think that it looks really good. My skin doesn't look dry. It doesn't look oily. It just looks like skin. So I think it was a good purchase. I've got a little bit of corrector, just a small amount. Next, I'm gonna go in with my usual cocktail of the Age Rewind. I'm gonna do the brightener right here, and I'm gonna do the fair shade. And I ran out of my Painterly paint pot, so I've been using this as an eye primer, and it creases. I don't particularly think it's the best eye primer. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit of yellow, I mean light. And then I'm gonna use a combination of the fair and the light. I like to do my nose with a brush. Okay, so I've got the spot concealer and the under eye concealer. So now I'm gonna go in with the Instant Age Rewind in 130 Buff Beige. And I like to work in small sections. So I'm really using a small amount. It's really just kind of a your skin but better situation. Like the whole point here is that I don't want to look like I'm wearing hardly any makeup. I just want it to look like I have perfect skin. And that is really tricky with me, I found. It's just evening out my skin tone, and it has a kind of a healthy glow, I think, on my skin. I just have normal skin, pretty much. My nose will get oily because I blow my nose all the time and I wipe off all the makeup and the powder, but in theory, if I powder my nose and I don't blow it, then it won't get oily, so. I like to go over with the sponge, really blend it in and absorb any extra product. Like I need a little bit extra there. Well, you know, I think it looks good. Going to do a little bit of powder. Very small amount. There's really nothing in here. And for my face, I'm still using this mineral. I think it just looks like skin. I mean, you can see freckles and some discoloration, but like, it's just even, and I think it looks really natural, which is what I'm going for. So I dig it. So I've been using this for a few days now, and one thing I noticed is that it's like I can add on it later with no problem. So like, for example, yesterday I wanted to touch up my face because I was going to go out for drinks with a friend, and so and it had worn off. So like I got ready at, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning. I worked, so it was in now 6 p.m. So it had come off kind of around here, you know, where I was probably doing this maybe, and it had come off on my nose. And so I just touched up over on top of, and then I just, like, concealer powder, I just did like a small amount to touch up everywhere, and it did really well. Like it built upon itself fine because it had basically worn off. Like it didn't get weird or anything, which was cool. It was just really easy to, you know, to touch up, which is, I like that because like I could just throw, you know, I could get ready during the day, and then if I had to, you know, transition to going out at night, like I didn't have to have time to go home or something, I could just throw it in my bag, and then I could just fix it, and it would still look, so it still looked natural. Because, you know, one of the problems that I have, like if I have to get ready in the morning and I know I'm going out like 10 hours later, I usually will do like, you know, a huge full face too much, and then it wears throughout the day, and then it just ends up looking terrible. Versus if you start out like with just a light coverage and then you can add, you know, more later, then it doesn't look bad. So far I like it. It is very light coverage though, so I feel like, you know, for a more flawless finish, for more coverage days, there's definitely going to be, I'm going to reach for other products. Okay, a super quick wrap up here for ya. I just did my Orange Theory workout, which was so intense. I got 29 splat points, which means I spent 29 minutes in the orange zone, which is when your heart rate is at 84% higher or higher. Okay, whoo, and I smell really bad. Let's take a look at the face, shall we? Now, granted, it's dark outside, so this is just artificial light, no natural light. I put it on at, what time was it? It was like 1:30, so 6.5, 7 hours. I think it's good. I think it's hard for me to find, you know, a drugstore foundation that doesn't have some flaws, because I mean, it's hard for me to find any foundation that doesn't have some flaws. Foundations are super difficult for me to find, so I am satisfied. I'm gonna keep using it. I like it. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know you liked it, and I will see you very soon. Bye.